Hey, how's everybody doing? This is Rich from Rich TV Live, and I'm here with a very special guest, long-time guest, David Moadel. How you doing, Dave?
Rich and Rich TV Live, always great to be with you. Rich is a fountain of information. Of course, your opinion matters, not just to me, but Rich's opinion matters for sure because he's brought a lot of winners. So I'm going to put this on my channel as well. So, hey, welcome to all the Looking at the Markets folks out there. And we're going to have a great interview today. So, what's on the agenda today, Mr. Rich?
Oh, buddy, when's the last time we did a video, or when's the last time we even did a show together?
Man, it's been too long. So we need to do this more often. And yeah, let me tell you, folks, if you're watching this on my channel, Rich is living the life. He is, in case you don't know who he is, he's a multiple property real estate investor. He's into stocks, he's into cryptocurrencies. He's made quite a bit of money on those. And I'm going to put a link in the description of my video below this video so you can go to richtv.com or just type it into your browser there. Also, as a YouTube channel, you need to check out where he's bringing a lot of winners, a lot of great picks. I'm not saying every single pick is going to be a winner. Same with me. Okay. Listen, neither one of us is a licensed or registered investment advisor. None of what we talk about in this video is investment advice. You got to make your own decisions, folks. But we're both going to tell you today what we think the outlook is going to be on some stocks, maybe some cryptocurrencies. You never know what's going to come up. So, where do we even begin?
I think we should talk about stocks. There's a
Okay.
lot of news, crazy news in the cannabis
Yeah.
sector. So, first of all, I'm going to make a prediction because every time I come on here and we talk, I make predictions. So, what's happening is the cannabis stocks are at a bottom. I'm predicting that they are very close to the all-time bottom that
Okay.
we will see probably all year. And I'm predicting that we are going to have a massive, epic resurrection.
Hmm.
Like a
Okay. Like a
resurrection that
short squeeze.
like a resurrection that we've seen before in the cannabis sector, one that happened in January, another
Yeah.
one that happened last fall around the exact same time when everything also hit a bottom. And we
Okay.
also saw the last fall before that. So this is something that we've literally seen. It's like a cyclical event.
Yeah.
And I believe we are going to see a resurrection of epic proportions. I think it's going to be bigger than anyone's anticipating. I think we're going to
Okay.
see smaller companies become mid-sized companies. We're going to see mid-sized companies become big companies, and we're going to see some bigger companies become super giants. And it's going to be big. And I think the way it's setting up, it's just perfect because it's a great opportunity for everyone to buy. And it's like summer sale. Every summer is a summer sale. And right now it's the best time. It's like picking cherries. It's like just time to
Nice.
find that diamond in the rough, because they're out there.
Yeah.
They're out
Now,
there.
I know you don't want to just buy anything. For example, let's take the biggest one of all, Canopy Growth Corp, CGC in America, weed in Canada. I'm looking at it, and it's fairly close to the 52-week low here. Um, but does that mean anything? Do 52-week lows give you a compelling reason to buy something?
Absolutely. That's like one of the number one reasons I buy a stock. I mean, a 52-week low is my signal to buy. A
Hmm.
52-week high is my signal to sell. I
Okay.
mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Now, where a 52-week low can be misleading is if the company's a bad company.
Yeah.
But Canopy Growth is the leader of the entire cannabis sector. They have
Right.
been for years. They'll continue to be. The issue with Canopy Growth, and I took aim at this issue when they were at $53, they fired Bruce Linton.
Yeah.
And this is something I want to talk about with you because Bruce Linton today was on BNN and he's now working with a company called Martello, which is a technology company. And since he joined Martello, the stock has done extremely well. At one point, it went from 18 cents to almost a dollar
Yeah.
since he left Canopy Growth. And Canopy Growth has gone in the opposite direction. Canopy Growth has gone from $53 in Canada, and they're currently right now at 46. And when they fired Bruce Linton, I said it was a mistake. And I gave a long list and a lot of reasons why I thought it was a mistake. And clearly, other people have felt the same. This
Yeah.
is why they're exiting the stock. I believe that the cannabis stock sector is different. I don't think a lot of people really understand what the cannabis stock sector is. I don't think it's like the normal stock market. There's a lot of real cannabis enthusiasts that are in the sector, that are driving the sector. That's why when you make a decision like that and you fire the most popular guy in the industry, you're taking a very big risk. Because he's the guy that built the most powerful cannabis company in the world. And then you go and you fire him. That's taking a very big risk.
Yeah.
From
Sure.
Because there's cannabis enthusiasts that are like, whoa, wait a second. You just fired like the guy who built the biggest cannabis company in the world. You just fired that guy.
Well, is Canopy Growth really that much of a cult of personality where it's like if Elon Musk left Tesla, yeah, that could be devastating because it's all about his vision, or could it be like Apple? Yeah, we both remember. See, of course, your opinion matters, just not to me. There you go.
That's just for the
Or is it
haters.
like
This is not for the
Apple,
richaholics. That's for the haters.
when Steve Jobs unfortunately, tragically passed away, a lot of people thought Apple is finished. Of course, it's not finished. It's doing great because he built it so that the company was sustainable even beyond him, even beyond his existence. So, what's the future of Canopy without Bruce Linton?
I think Canopy's going to have a great future. I've never doubted their future. I just didn't think that short term it was good for the sector, and I didn't think that short term it was going to be good for Canopy. And I was right. The stock has gone from $53 and it's currently at 46. So since they fired him, the stock has gone down. The company he joined, called Martello Technologies, the symbol in Canada is MTLO, they've gone up. They went from 18 cents. He literally wore their t-shirt. He wore a t-shirt like this.
Okay.
The day he got fired, and he started going and doing the tours and doing the rounds and doing interviews with everybody. And and since then the stock went from, like I said, from 18 cents the day he was wearing the shirt and he got terminated from Cannabis Growth, and they went as high as $1. I think today they're trading at, let's see, what are they trading at now?
Let me take a look.
It's DRKKF in America and MTLO in Canada. And today he was on BNN and he was wearing his Martello shirt and it was up 2% today. At one point, it was up way more, like at least 10%. It's at 44 cents now. But it's been as high as almost $1, and it started at 18 cents. And since he was terminated, Cannabis Growth has gone in the other direction, losing close to 20%. Well, I guess about 15% of its value since they terminated their CEO.
Yeah, that stock really shot up. I'm looking at the Canadian version. You're right, 44 cents. If people are interested, in Canada, MTLO is the ticker symbol. And my goodness, it sure did shoot up. It went from 19 cents, it looks like, to 78 at one point. Now it corrected a bit because that was kind of an overreaction, 44 cents. Oh, man. So he brings value wherever he goes, is what it looks like.
Well, I mean, what I'm trying to say is this is a sector that's filled with cannabis enthusiasts. Yeah. It's not a normal sector. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Right. It's not a normal sector. There's cannabis enthusiasts. It's like cryptocurrency enthusiasts.
Okay.
It's different. It's like the richaholics. You know, people they get into things and then they believe in them. So when you just go and you just chop them and you treat them like trash and then you kick them to the curb like he didn't do anything, when he just built the most successful cannabis company in the entire world in a period of 5 years. People that are cannabis enthusiasts are not going to like that.
Right.
And do you know, because they're more about they're more about the movement. This is a movement. This is about legalization. This is about the whole world needs this medicine. This is a movement. This is a legalization in Canada. This is about legalization in the United States. This is about legalization in Mexico. This is about legalization all over the world. This is a global issue. There's a reason why this is the most, for me, it's the most exciting industry in the world because it has the most volatility. It has the most volume. It has the most excitement. It's the most youthful. There's probably the most millennials involved. This is a sector that is a growing sector. It will continue to grow. And because of that, it's going to come with a lot of volatility. It's going to create a lot of millionaires and billionaires. It already has.
Yeah.
Okay. And Bruce Linton is a billionaire because of it.
Yeah.
So this
Okay.
is what I'm trying to say. So you have a man who's got a lot of influence, and he created the most successful, most world well-known, most amount of investors, all the big board, hedge funds and institutions are invested in Canopy. There's a reason why the stock's trading so high, right? So all
Yeah.
the big companies were betting in Canopy. That's why Canopy went from $5 to $70 in Canada, right?
Yeah.
So then it started to lose steam because every summer it does anyways. And then a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, they fired Bruce Linton.
Right.
And since they fired him, the entire sector has gone red. Now, I'm not suggesting it's because they fired Bruce Linton. It was going to go down anyways. That's what it does every summer. It's the fact that the way they fired him. Like, they could have left him as a consultant with the company. They could have left him as an advisor to the board. They chose to remove him completely. And he talked about that, and that bothered him. That concerned him because he's the visionary. He's the founder of the entire company. He builds it. He owns a big piece of this business, right? So for you to kick him out completely, he has fears that, you guys are not going to know who are the guys to call and all the people he deals with every day, because he's the one that built all those relationships with all those companies that they're working with all over the world. He's the one that was in all those business meetings raising those billions of dollars with Constellation Brands when Constellation Brands cut the check for $5 billion. He made all that happen, right?
Interesting. So we talked about the biggest one, Canopy. I know that on your channel, which I'll put in a link in the description below my video, to go to Rich TV Live's YouTube channel, because he puts out pretty much daily content from what I've seen, and he's got lots of stock picks. Are there any under the radar stock picks you're looking at right now? Things that people just don't report on in the mainstream media?
Yeah, Zoom Away Travel. That's a pick that we started talking about. This one's a beauty, David. Zoom Away Travel.
Wait, I'm sorry. Could you say it again and the ticker symbol?
Zoom Away Travel. ZMWYF.
Zoom Away Travel. This is definitely under the radar.
Oh, yeah.
Not a whole lot of coverage on this one.
No.
It's a penny stock. It is around 8 cents. And let me see. Let me take a look at the chart here. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's quite a chart.
So essentially, this is a funny backstory behind this one. So one of our members, Justin, and I call him the Rain Man because he makes it rain for members because he's got such great winning picks. He brought this pick to us when it was at a penny in Canada. I need you to look at the Canadian one, ZMA. It's the Canadian side that has all the volume.
Okay.
So I need you to look at ZMA. Zoom Away Travel.
Let's see. ZMA. Yep.
So he started buying it at 1.5 cents, and he started telling me about this company. And he's talking to me. He was so passionate about it, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a penny stock. Like, I'm not really into penny stock so much anymore." So I didn't really listen to him. So it went from like 1 cent to 4 cents, and then I started paying attention, and then it went down to 3 cents. I bought some, like 120,000 shares. Okay. And I held it for a few months, and it went up and down, and it didn't trade very much. Like, essentially, you could be the only one buying it that day. Had zero volume almost, right? And he then spoke to the CEO, and then I spoke to the CEO, and we got the CEO on our show, and they started really moving forward with their business plan. And the stock skyrocketed this week, and it went from 2.5 cents, like literally last Monday, to 13.5 cents yesterday.
Okay.
And we have members all over the world that owned it. So we have members that made thousands and thousands of dollars, and a lot of them are still holding because they really believe in it. Justin, the guy who told us about it first, he owns 1 million shares.
1 million? No, okay.
Now, he was up over $100,000 yesterday, and he wouldn't sell, even though we were all telling him he should sell. It traded it traded 14 million shares yesterday at 13 cents when it's never traded. Like, if you look at his chart, look 2 weeks ago, it wasn't even trading like 1 million shares a day. And then if you look back like a month ago, it wasn't even trading 100,000 shares a day. So we literally found it first. He literally found it first. brought it to me. I brought it to our community with Justin. We started talking about it. And yeah, the rest is history, man. It's a pretty crazy situation, pretty crazy story.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it started to come down a little bit today. It's down 13% in Canada. It's traded 2.7 million shares. But yesterday was just like a magical day. Like it went to like 13 and a half cents, traded 14 million shares, and they have a lot of news that they haven't even announced yet.
Yeah.
So they've been putting out news, and there's more coming. So keep it on your radar, guys. It's just a penny stock. I'm not suggesting you buy it. I'm not a licensed advisor. Always do your due diligence. Always do your research before you invest in anything that we talk about on our show.
Right.
I just think that it has a lot of potential. And if it dips back to 2 cents, 2.5 cents, I'll probably buy some more. But I'm not going to chase green, right? So, when I see it, because what happened was I bought it at 3 cents. It went to 5.5. I sold. I made $2,500.
Great.
But yeah, then it went up to 13 and a half. And I'm like, oh my God, like I would have had 10,000 US yesterday if I held it.
Yeah. I mean, that's hindsight,
Yeah.
Whenever that happens to me, I just congratulate all the people who did better than me. And I say, hey, good job, guys. I still made money. I still feel good about it. So, you could drive yourself crazy if you look at the money you left on the table. But, I've always followed Rich's advice, which is buy in the red, sell in the green. And that's an example of selling in the green. You made great money. Who could complain about that? Awesome. Cool. Just wanted to also address Google today. I think you mentioned that one.
Yes.
Which is, I wrote an article about a week ago on InvestorPlace.com. I write a lot of articles for them, and I recommended that people hold it through earnings, and I hope they did. It's up 10% today.
Monster.
I don't have a crystal ball, but I just had a feeling and some facts also that there's no reason to drop Google at this point in time. I mean, they're expanding into so many different areas. They're not just a search engine anymore, even though they are the most dominant one by far. I mean, honestly, who uses anything else besides Google? Whenever I write an article, it's all about how can we get it on Google. We don't even think about Bing or anything, or I cannot even name 3 search engines. Well, so I don't know how it is in Canada.
Yeah, buddy, I only use Google. Like, do you think I waste my time with any other search engines? So no, it's only Google. Google is the world's most powerful company with Amazon. That's clear, and they're going to continue to be. And I've been calling Google since it was in the hundreds. I've been calling Amazon. I've been calling Apple. I've been calling Facebook. These companies will continue to get bigger. They'll continue to get better because they're money-making machines. That's the reality. They're money-making machines. And Google's going to keep making money. And what they're going to do is they're going to acquire their growth. And, people forget that Google owns YouTube. And YouTube is a huge moneymaker for Google. And is a lot of ad revenue. Like so much ad revenue. And that's how Facebook makes money, is ad revenue.
Yeah.
And Facebook's making money from Instagram, which they own as well, through ad revenue. So these platforms that dominate the ad revenue, and all the companies are advertising on them because they give you the most reach. Because think about it, like on Facebook, you got all your friends and family. So you're going to advertise to that group of people. Every time you go on a page, you're going to see a commercial, an ad. You're going to see, this is how they make money, guys.
Right.
So they're not going to stop. And now, like, they keep thinking of new ways to get more customers. Like, Facebook Markets is huge, David.
Yeah.
It's becoming huge. So now, like, my buddy picked up a bike yesterday. I'm like, where'd you get it? Facebook Markets. Like, I start hearing that now. It's the same thing. Like, Amazon's got Amazon Prime. And apparently they're saying that if you become a Prime member, they're going to give you free deliveries. I mean, these are the types of things that they got to do, right? You have to continue to find ways to adapt in 2019 because we're living in a world where things are changing so fast, right? For 2.5 years, we've been talking on YouTube. Like you're the first channel I ever collaborated with.
Yep.
Right? And we've been doing this for 2.5 years since I know my channel only had like less than 1,000 subscribers when I started collaborating with you. maybe 1,000, 2,000. I don't remember, but I know our channel's come up like 10 times since we started talking. I know yours. I was like looking today. You have like 36,000 subscribers. I was like, holy moly! So, things change, right? That's the thing, is like, one guarantee is things are going to change, and if you're the type of company that cannot change in this world in 2019, you're done. You're done.
Very, very true. Are you going to be a buyer of Libra coin when it comes out? Facebook is going to introduce its 2.4 billion users between Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. 2.4 billion users will be introduced potentially to cryptocurrency when it rolls out Libra coin and the Libra project, as well as the Calibra cryptocurrency wallet, supposedly next year, assuming that there are not too many regulatory hurdles. So will you be first in line, Rich, to accumulate some of that Libra coin there?
I don't know if I'll buy it, but I think it's going to be a huge success. And the reason is just the mass growth and size of Facebook and their community. I just see the potential being so great. Like, think about it. Everybody's got Facebook on their phone. So now they've got a Libra coin. So now you hop into an Uber and you use your Libra coin on Facebook to pay for your Uber. And Uber's already said that they're going to work with the Libra coin. So has MasterCard. So has PayPal. So has Visa. I mean, these are giants, right? Yeah. So when you've got these huge companies that have already said, yeah, we want to work with Facebook. Yeah, we'd love to accept their coin. I think it's brilliant. I think it's going to be brilliant. I think it's brilliant. And you can't put too much past a young billionaire like Zuckerman. That's all I got to say. You don't grow to be the youngest billionaire in the world by luck. Sometimes you might get it just by being in the right family. But this is a guy who actually made it. And he made it in a short period of time, in record time. I'm not betting against that guy. I'll bet with him. Now, will I buy the coin? I don't know, but I believe it will be successful, especially if it gets approved. Now, if it doesn't get approved, that's another story, and they may not approve it. That's the issue, I think. But they're saying that it's going to most likely happen in early first quarter of 2020. So it'll be interesting to see. If they get it approved by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, my goodness, that's going to be a beautiful thing. Yeah, it'll be a beautiful thing for Facebook's stock. Let's just put it that way. Because the company's revenues will grow exponentially.
That is one way to play it, is just by buying, accumulating shares of Facebook. Not that it's at the lowest price we've ever seen for Facebook. It's certainly closer to the 52-week high than the 52-week low. But if you're willing to be patient, and I know that Rich is not a day trader so much. When he buys something, he's looking out months and years, really. So that is one way to play it. Another way to play it is just to buy crypto generally, just to buy Bitcoin, because Libra might raise Bitcoin along with it. Rising tide lifts all boats, as they say. I don't know if it works like that. It's a very interesting situation. Somebody who is very close to me bought Bitcoin when it was around 13,000. Could have gotten their money back when it reached 13,000 again. Now it's around between 9 and 10,000. I don't know. I have a weird feeling we're going to see all-time highs again this year with Bitcoin. I certainly hope so. But on the other hand, I'm not accumulating at this stage either, though. So I'm kind of doing what Rich is doing. I'm watching. I'm waiting. I'm watching the regulators do their thing and see if they can keep a good grassroots movement down. Hopefully not for too much longer. Rich, do you think that the government, the American government, is threatened? Do you think that they view Facebook as becoming a bank? Is that what they're trying to do?
Well, a super bank. Yeah. I mean, a super bank that has their own customers already and their own users, their own engagement, one of the fastest growing advertising platforms in the world, with a 30-year-old billionaire. Yeah. And now they're going to have a coin which he can just create as many coins as he wants whenever he wants and sell them and make billions of dollars a day if he chooses. Yeah. I think it's a brilliant idea. And then those billions of dollars of revenue that he can book on his balance sheet is a beautiful thing. So yeah, for an investor, any entrepreneur, two ways to get rich right now. Have your own public company because you get a bunch of stock which you can sell and make money, which we've seen Bruce Linton do with Canopy Growth and make $1 billion in 5 years. The other thing you can do is have your own cryptocurrency, which is just like having stock, which is coins that you can sell. And if you have a market, Facebook Market, if you have a market to sell your coin in, Uber customers, Visa customers, MasterCard customers, PayPal customers. I believe it's like over 20 huge giant names.
Okay.
Overnight that are their partners already because they're already advertising on Facebook because everybody is. So guess what? You flip the switch and now, hey guys, we can make money with our stock and we can make money with our coin.
Yeah.
And just like our stock is up like, I don't know, we IPO'd at $30 and we're now at 200. So everyone's made, 7 times their money that started with us. So since you're up 700%, why don't you join us on this next venture with us having our own cryptocurrency, our own token, our own coin. And by the way, you can now accumulate it, send it to your friends, send it to your family right through Facebook. You can use it to buy products at the marketplace. You can use it to take your Uber. You can use it to pay with your Visa. You can use it to pay your MasterCard. Yeah, it's going to fly, Dave. It's going to fly, bro. Like, anyone who thinks it's not going to fly is smoking something. I'll tell you right now.
Speaking of smoking, just to backtrack a little bit, I know that you have your own CBD, cannabidiol brand.
That's right.
I think that's super exciting. I just learned about that from you fairly recently. I think CBDs have been helping a lot of people who are in pain, discomfort, who have anxiety. CBD can be, it's basically, for people who don't know, it's the part of the hemp plant that will not get you high. I promise. Okay. You can take it safely. From what I understand, you won't, set off alarm bells on your drug test at work, just if you take CBD, moderate amounts. So what exactly is your product, and is it investable yet?
Well, to be quite honest, we're not really looking for investors at this point. What we're looking for is distribution. So we have a water-soluble nano CBD product called Rich Hemp RX. That is the brand. And we are producing 50 liters a day in Phoenix, Arizona. And we are working with a lot of public companies and private companies to get distribution and to get sales. So that's really what we need. And our biggest hurdle is that it's in America and we're in Canada. So it's very difficult for us to really sell a product in another country. It hasn't been easy, that's for sure. So that's really kind of our hurdle right now. Once we can get some significant sales and growth as far as sales in America, then that will be incredible, because that's what you need to get your name out there. You need like credibility. And then once people start taking your product and they like your product and they use your product and there's testimonials, then it's easier to start to really sell and distribute your product. But when you're new to the market and you're trying to get into a product from another country and you're competing against so many other products that people have been taking for years, it's difficult. It's difficult. I'm gonna be honest with you. It has not been easy, especially because we're not in Phoenix, Arizona. If I was in Phoenix, Arizona, I'd be selling them myself.
Yeah.
Right. And we'd get sales because I'd just be out there pushing it. But it's hard when you're in another country, man. It's not easy. Yeah. So it's stupid that it's not legal in Canada. It's really stupid. There's quite a lot of people that call me every day that want it in Canada, and I can't distribute it to them. So it's kind of frustrating. I'm not going to lie to you. It is frustrating, but the rules are the rules. Legalities are what they are. And, you take the good with the bad, right? It is what it is.
That's one of the few aspects in which Canada is a little bit behind the United States in terms of
We're a lot behind when it comes to CBDs. I heard a statistic that 7% of Americans take CBDs. That number is astounding to me.
Yeah.
So Americans are like the first to do everything, you know? Like, yeah, we're legalizing cannabis, but Americans are way farther ahead with CBDs than we are because it's illegal here. But the weird thing is, cannabis is legal.
Yeah.
Like, how does that make any sense? So cannabis is legal and CBDs are not, and CBDs have no cannabis? Or a little bit of cannabis or 50% cannabis? You know, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But America's ahead in the game in CBDs and behind as far, not behind, I mean, they're behind as far as the entire country isn't legal yet.
Right.
But I wouldn't say they're behind. I mean, you guys are just as sophisticated, and there's just as many public companies now in America that are performing well as there is in Canada. And soon I see a day where it's going to dwarf Canada because you've got 10 times the population. So how can Canada really compete with the US? You can't. Right. 30 million population versus 300 million. It's just a simple numbers game that makes me believe that the opportunities in America to invest right now for cannabis stocks and cannabis companies, I just see the opportunity so great because legalization's coming. And when it does, these stocks are going to go bonkers. So I think right now this is a great time to position yourself because, you know, when I look at all the stocks that are hot, the only stock that really showed a lot of strength today that I'm looking at is CannTrust. And CannTrust, You're familiar what happened with CannTrust?
Tell me.
Oh, buddy. You're not going to believe this one. So CannTrust, one of the biggest companies in Canada, decided that they were going to grow $70 million worth of weed behind Health Canada's back in rooms with hidden walls. And they're one of the biggest stocks at this time. When this kind of got found, the stock was at $7. They've been as high as 15. They're on the senior exchange in America, TSX in Canada. They've been, from what we knew publicly, they've been, you know, one of the best companies out there. And then they break this news. Stock goes from $7 to under $3. Massive scandal. CEO was terminated yesterday, Peter Aceto, and the chairman of the board resigned yesterday because there was emails back and forth about the fact that they were dodging bullets from regulators. And eventually they got caught. And now there's 5,000 kilograms of cannabis that's being seized or held, or they're just trying to determine what they're going to do with it. And another 7,500 kilograms that they've put aside just in case to make sure that they can be on the right side of the law, because clearly they've done some illegal activities.
Yeah. Wow.
So
yeah, I do recall you put out a couple of videos on that recently. Again, people need to check out. And there's the shirt again. Of course, your opinion matters, just not to me.
That's for the haters. That's not for the lovers. That's not for the richaholics. That's for the haters.
It does matter. We want to see some comments on these videos. All right, go ahead and comment. CannTrust. What do you think of all that? Yeah, Rich put out a couple of videos on that recently. I did watch those, but I wanted to hear. I didn't want to try to explain what Rich could explain a lot better than me. Yeah, you'd think a company like that would know better. So the whole, and I remember Rich said there's going to be more of this, more growing pains.
Remember?
More speed bumps.
And this is why I wanted to do this video with you, because I wanted to, it's funny that we do this video because now you can remind the public of all the things I've predicted that I've said that have come true, which has been a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Like we've made a lot of predictions on our show over the years, and it's funny, like, to come back now and do a show after all this time and to talk about it. Right. It's funny because a lot of the things that I predicted are starting to happen, and a lot of the stocks that I said were going to explode did. Crazy runs. But as quickly as they've gone up, they've come down. So the market has gone up and down numerous times over the last couple of years. It's been a very volatile market. You know, to this day, when you listen to all the analysts in Canada that are like fund managers and hedge fund managers and institutional investors, none of them invest in cannabis.
No, it's true.
None of them.
Good luck walking into a Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, that Citibank, whatever. and talking to a financial advisor. And good luck trying to ask him about cannabis stocks or gold for that matter, silver, cryptocurrencies, any alternative investment. Really, they shouldn't be the alternative. Meanwhile, they'll tell you to go into 60% blue chip stocks and 40% bonds. 10-year treasuries are yielding 2%, and the rate of inflation is 2%. So you're getting nothing in terms of real rates. And then they'll tell you to get into the S&P 500 at all-time highs.
Well,
Uh,
you know
yeah,
what though? But that's not necessarily bad advice, because I mean, if you're buying the S&P 500 because that's what Warren Buffett buys, that's what Jordan
right.
Belfort buys. I mean, you're making money because the U.S. economy is going to keep growing. So when you're betting in the S&P 500, you're betting in the fact that the U.S. economy will continue to grow, and I believe it will. I think it always will continue to grow. It's the most powerful economy in the world.
Yeah,
Everything else is measured by the United States.
right.
This is why Donald Trump is the most exciting, the most highly watched, the most volatile president in the world, is because he's the president of the United States. If he was the president of some small country that nobody talks about, if he was the president of Australia, he wouldn't be making news. Nobody would care. He's the president of America. Like, a lot of Americans don't realize, like, I'm in Canada. I know because I see it from the outside, even though I'm really close. America dominates the world. They dominate the news. They dominate everything. If they want to go into a country and take it, or take their oil, like we've seen them do in Iran and other countries, or Iraq, or wherever. Sorry, Iraq. Iran, I think, is coming next. They just go in and get it.
Yeah,
That's just the way it goes, and nobody can stop them
right.
because they have the most powerful military.
Yeah. No,
And that's the truth, right? And that's why outside of America, you have a lot of people, especially in the Middle East, they have a lot of hatred towards Americans because they feel like, oh, they're the powerful country from the West, and they'll just come here and bomb us and take our resources.
Right.
That's the way they look at it, right? And it may or may not be true. I'm not here to judge that. I don't like to get into politics. I'm just trying to say what people think outside of America. And being in Canada, I'm so close to America, I see it. Right? And I listen to BNN News, and they always are talking about American politics. That's all I hear, is mostly American politics. Now, it's partly because I'm in Canada, obviously. If I was in Europe, like when I go to Europe, television's completely different. You don't see American politics as much, but you still see a lot of Trump.
Sure.
Like even in Europe, you're going to see and hear about Trump. So that's the thing, is that one guy specifically is news headlines. All over the world. He is news headlines. And it's his personality, Like, he goes out and he talks, and I've live streamed Trump. Like, he's intense, man. Like, he goes to these events, and he just tears people down. So the reason why people watch him is you just want to hear what he's going to say next, because he has no filter.
Right.
Like, none, right? If he doesn't like you, he doesn't hide it. He just publicly just demolishes you.
Right.
He does.
Yeah, and it's interesting.
It's crazy.
And we are both non-political investors, and that's one of the things I like about Rich so much is that he's what we're saying right now is not for or against any particular political party. Our trades are going to win no matter who is elected. Rich, would you agree with that? That your investments right now don't depend on who's going to win in November of 2020?
Well, I mean, I already know who's going to win. It's going to be Donald Trump. And that's because the economy is growing. And why would the U.S. people vote against the guy who's been helping the economy move in the right direction? So I already know who's going to win. And at the end of the day, it's Wall Street that determines who's going to win. It's all about the money, David. Let's be honest.
Sure.
It's all about the money, my friend. The people with the money make the rules. The money's on Wall Street. The market is at all-time highs right now. It's at all-time highs.
Sure.
The U.S. economy continues to grow. Warren Buffett is still buying the S&P 500. Jordan Belfort is still buying the S&P 500 because they believe that the U.S. economy will continue to grow. And all these guys that keep saying there's going to be a collapse, like, I want to collapse them in their head because I'll be honest with you, there will be a collapse. There always is a collapse. And then what is a collapse followed by, David? Every single time.
A total recovery and then some.
Every
Yeah.
single time. So what's everyone so worried about the collapse for?
Right.
Like, you look at the charts. Every time there's been a collapse, there's a huge recovery.
Right.
So what's the issue? It's just panic that's created so people don't buy because all the elite are buying.
Right.
I mean, they're buying everything up because they just keep printing money.
Right.
If you own the printing press and you're printing money, what are you putting your money into? Everything. Bitcoin, stock market, cannabis stocks, Amazon, Google, Facebook. Why are they going up, Dave? Look at Shopify's chart. Look at Visa's chart. Look at MasterCard's chart. These stocks do not go down. If you've got unlimited money and you're printing money, what are you going to invest in? Oil, gas, gold, silver, stocks, cryptocurrency, real estate. What else is there? I mean, that's what you put your money into. So over time, everything just keeps going higher.
Those are the big ones for sure.
Supply and demand. It's supply and demand, right?
Yeah, always. And it is always about the money. People can try to deny it. They may like it, they may not, but that is the reality of the situation. And then finally, I just want to give, I promised we would both give some stock picks. I'm recommending NIO, N-I-O, the Chinese Tesla.
Whoa, you're recommending NIO. That is one hell of a recommendation. Let me pull it up.
I'm coming out of left field with that
Yeah,
one.
I did not expect you to say NIO.
Well,
because you are the utmost of risk-adverse traders.
Well, I'm not saying people should buy it. I'm not, and if you do, that's a small position type of stock. But if you compare the valuation of Tesla versus the valuation of NIO, and when people understand that their culture, the Eastern culture, they're not like us in America. We'll buy their cars. They tend to buy their cars. They don't buy American cars so much. They're not buying Teslas so much. They buy their own cars. And if and when electric vehicles become a big deal over there, I don't think they're going to be buying Teslas so much just because that's part of the culture. Whereas NIO is right there. And it is so cheap right now. I mean, it's less than $5 a share compared to Tesla, which, yes, the price of Tesla is a little bit depressed right now, but it's still more than $200, and so it's not a cheap stock. So look at the chart of Tesla, look at the chart of NIO. I know that NIO does not have a lot of history of price action, but it has a lot more room to run. That could be one of those, 5 baggers or even 10 baggers if you hold on for several years, possibly.
Yeah, it's an interesting pick. That's an interesting pick. I would suggest. Have you ever seen the China Hustle?
No.
Okay, I suggest you watch this movie called The China Hustle. You might change your pick. Because what happens in Asia is, because it's so far away from America, a lot of these companies lie. And they lie about their businesses, they lie about their revenues, they lie about their employees, they lie about everything, Dave. And there's got to be a reason why NIO is falling the way it's fallen, and they're not hitting their revenue estimates. Their revenues are not even close to Tesla. Like, they're not even worth talking about, really. Not even in the same breath as Tesla, to be quite frank. And I think a lot of times what happens with these companies is they get hyped. And I got hyped on it too. But I've learned a lot over the last 2.5 years trading.
Right.
And the key is to look for companies that have revenue growth. Now, one of the stocks that I invested in, and I lost a shitload of money on it, was Snapchat. Right. They went from $25, went up to $30 from their IPO, and then went all the way down to $5. I sold, and I took like a $5,000 loss. I didn't like it very much. The funny thing about Snapchat is now Snapchat is growing. Snapchat has recently gone from $5, now they're at $17. Snapchat is a company that's fallen, but is now recovering, and is going to become, I believe, a social media giant, and it already is. A lot of people, especially younger kids, they love Snapchat. I don't know if NIO has that ability, because I don't know enough about NIO, and I don't know if what they're saying is even real. Because if you watch the China Hustle, it'll make you think twice about a lot of these Chinese stocks, because I've seen a lot of them fall. And it's really scary and really concerning when you see stocks that you invest in fall. It sucks. I don't like it. I hate it. And Neo is one of those that's hurt a lot of investors. So I personally wouldn't recommend them. I'm not suggesting they won't go up. They could, just like Snapchat has. But are they a real business? Because we know Snapchat's a real business. We know people are using it every day. Is Neo a real business? I don't know enough about them to know whether or not they're real. That's why I wouldn't recommend them. But you're welcome to recommend whatever you like.
Yeah.
And they might explode, and they are definitely near bottom. There's no doubt about that. However, will they create new bottoms, or are they going to go up from here? That's really the question, and that's the risk that we all take in the stock market. I'm not suggesting it's a bad pick. It's just watch the China hustle, and you might change your pick. That's all I'm saying. A lot of these Chinese stocks is scary, bro. I can show you a couple. I can show you a couple that have fallen off the map.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Fallen off, and Neo's one of them. They've fallen off the map like bad. So
I like it at the depressed price. I certainly wouldn't have bought it at the IPO price, but I rarely buy anything at the IPO price. I think it's possible that it's, all the IPO hype and then bust has already happened, like it did with Snapchat. But I mean, we'll see.
For sure it has. So now it's about fundamentals, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, do you have any other picks? I'd like to hear some of your other picks.
Well, we talked about the pot stocks. I mean, you could just honestly buy the whole basket. MJ,
the ETF. I like that ETF. I like that pick.
Or YOLO, YOLO.
Yes, I like that pick too. Very good picks.
I'm kind of souring a little bit on HMMJ. I'm not as big a fan of the Horizons as I used to be. It's not a pure pot play like I would hope for, but it's still, you can still buy HMMJ, or in America HMLSF, which Rich introduced me to a long time ago. So I don't know. I'm not saying you could throw a dart at the pot stock dartboard and win, because they're not all equally good. But I believe the big ones will all be higher 2 years from now than they are right now. That's for sure. No guarantees of anything, of course. So I like those. Do you have any other? You already gave a couple of great picks today. And Libra. Like you said, Libra coin. When it comes out, I would just wait a little bit. Wait for the hype, the ICO hype to pass, and then when it's at a depressed price, get into that one. So those are my probably best recommendations right now, looking forward. Anything else, Rich?
I like those picks, Dave. I like your picks, man. I like the way you're thinking. I actually like the Neo pick. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's real. So I like the way.
It's cool.
No, I like the way you're thinking, because it's definitely at a bottom. I like the way you're thinking. I just don't know the backstory of the company. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, these companies in Canada and the United States, we can touch them. We can see them. I can go visit them.
Right.
I'm not going to go to China to go visit Neo. If I went to China to visit Neo, then I would know whether or not they're real. You know what I mean? Like, we can go and see Tesla.
True. I mean, most people won't, but you could. I also, just in the auto niche, I also like Ford. Ford below $10 is usually a winner long term. That's a safety stock. So if you're going to buy some Neo, maybe balance it out with some Ford, just as a to de-risk or de-volatility your portfolio a little bit there, because Libra and Neo are both very risky, very speculative.
Well, I gave a top 10 list today. You guys go look at my top 10 video. I don't want to do it again. But I'm going to give you some picks that were not on my top 10 list. Okay? Because every time we do this, I like to give you picks so that the next time we do a video, we can talk about it.
Yes.
So one that I've been talking about a lot is Cannabis. Do you know Cannabis?
Tell me.
Okay, so the symbol in America is ZBISF. It's only around $1, and they are a giant. They are positioned to be one of the largest in Canada and one of the largest in the world. They're priced right at around $1 in the US, around $1.50, $1.40 in Canada. And I just see them as a long-term giant. I currently own 25,000 shares of the company. And my goal is to sell at least $5, maybe $10 in the future. I think it could possibly get as high as $5 next year. And I think it could get as high as $10 the year after. Maybe even sooner. It just depends on how fast their revenue growth scales up. But there's some projections that by 2024, if they reach full capacity, they could be doing $30 billion a year in revenues.
Nice.
So to get in at a buck, a company that 4 years from now, 5 years from now, could be making $30 billion a year, this could be the opportunity of a lifetime. So I position myself in it. I think that they're going to go way higher. I've actually gone to their facilities. I've seen them myself. I've met the management team. I've spoken to the CEOs. I've been to seen them in conferences. They're very professional company. They've got great facilities with gates and security cameras, security guards, like vaults, like literally vaults. In their facilities, they have vaults, and it's just, I believe they're going to be an absolute giant. And to me, getting into Cannabis now is like getting into Aurora Cannabis in 2016 or getting into Cannabis Growth in 2016, 2017, when I first started talking about those companies, or getting into Organigram in 2017, when I first started talking about Organigram, and they were at $1, and they went as high as $11 just recently. So I believe that Cannabis is in that class with these companies. They are just more of a slow and steady wins the race. They're more like the turtle, and you're not going to see them make the mistakes that CannTrust did, trying to grow illegally behind Health Canada. This is a company that has facilities across the country. They've got a license to work directly with Shoppers Drug Mart, which is the local pharmacy all across Canada, to have their cannabis in the pharmacy. They've got government grants from the government. They're the only company I know of that's getting government grants. They've provided over 400 jobs to Canadians that are working in their facilities. Their goal is to get up to 2,500 jobs by the end of this year. I like what these guys are doing. I think that they're a great long-term company, and they're a little secret that I have with our community and people that are watching Rich TV Live. A lot of people make fun of me. A lot of people don't like my pick. A lot of people say it's trash. A lot of people say it's this. A lot of people say it's that. My answer to those people is...
there you go. Cannabis. Check it out. There you go. that's
just my answer to you guys, like, because this is my investment, you know, like I never told anybody to buy Cannabis. I'm buying Cannabis myself. I put my money where my mouth is. I really, really like them. Okay. Another one that I want to just tell everyone about is Saniva. It's another one that I own. I own 10,000 shares of Saniva. They've been getting beat up. I think that long term they're going to do very well. They are considered the canopy of California. I love the U.S. market. And as a play that's actually a Canadian company but focused on the U.S., I love Saniva. So
what's the ticker for Saniva?
SNNVF in America and SNN in Canada. Saniva. And I absolutely love them. I own them, and I think that they're going to do really, really well. And I see a lot of upside for them. Now, a couple others, I'm just going to list a bunch here. IIPR, giant in America, love them. Pay dividends, great company. GWPH, love them. Giant in America, one of the biggest in the world. Yeah. Tight float, absolutely love them. Tilray, great company. Yeah. Really high priced, but I love them. Great company, huge potential. Organigram, love them. Great company, huge potential. Hexo, great company, huge potential. These are some of the companies that I didn't even list in my top 10 that are all great companies. AUSA, great company, tons of potential. I did a video with a company called High Tide. I think they're going to be a giant. Great company. They've been up over 30% since my video. I brought them at like 27 cents earlier this week. They went as high as 38 cents last time I looked. I don't even know where they're at right now. Great company, huge potential. I did an interview yesterday with a company, the CEO of Halo Labs, an MSO from America. They're doing business in California, Oregon, Vegas. Great company, huge potential. So there's so many good companies.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I've chosen to be an enthusiast for the cannabis sector. I think you know that. And I watch the whole sector. I watch the whole stock market. I'll invest in anything. If I can make money on Google and make 10% in a day, I'll buy Google. You know,
Sure.
if I can make money on Amazon, I'll buy Amazon. If I can make money on Visa, I'll buy Visa. But I just like the cannabis sector because I think it's got a lot of news. I think it's a growing sector. And I just think I'm that guy. I'm that guy. You know, I'm the guy for the sector, Dave.
You know, you are, and you literally just gave us like half a dozen specific stock picks that are weren't even on your channel yet. So this is like an exclusive. This is great. We'll have to check back in a few months, a couple months, to see how those are progressing. Not that it's all about where is it at in 2 months. Rich is looking out further than that. So you know, I don't want anybody to buy these without doing their own research. I don't want anybody to buy these and then it goes down the next day or the next week or the next month and think, oh, Rich was wrong. No, he's not looking to the next day. He's thinking long term because he's looking at the fundamentals of these businesses as well as the long-term charts. So look at the 1-year chart, the 5-year chart, even the 10-year chart if the company has been around that long, if it has that kind of price action history. Wow, Rich, man, specific picks. Folks, you need to rewind this video, watch it again if you didn't write all those down. And don't just go out and buy them willy-nilly. Do your own research. But we're going to keep checking into richtvlive.com and also Rich's YouTube channel. Just type Rich TV Live into the YouTube search box or use the convenient link in the description below my video. And my name's David Moadel. You're watching Looking at the Markets. Rich, this has been amazing. Wow, mind blown. So thank you so much, sir.
Let's do it again soon, Dave. Thank you for being here. Everybody, always speak to a financial advisor before you invest in anything that we've talked about on our show. Okay? Remember, of course your opinion matters, just not to me if you don't like my picks or if you have any hate in your heart. But if you are a Richaholic or you are a Daveaholic, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so every single time we go live, you know first. If you're not winning, you're not watching. This is your boy Rich from Rich TV Live from my 5 acres in my backyard. And my boy David Moadel in America, the man, the options man. You know, next time we do this, we want to talk about options because there's a lot of members in our community that want to know about options. So let's talk about that next time. And then we can also review some of these picks next time we do another show. And let's do this again, Dave. Thank you for being here again with us. Man, I missed you. Let's do it again more often. Hopefully we can do it soon. And thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend. Your boy's out. Thanks, Dave. Peace.
Thanks, everybody.